just a little bit about that the process you guys went through of picking the company to do that.
Certainly. We basically drive and assess the streets of Jackson. We do take requests from our city councilman, and when I go out and assess, if they hear requests from the citizens in their district, we do have to look at our funding for the year, and we normally put together a fall project and a spring project. That's what we did this year. We're trying to get a certain number of streets that could be paved between now and November 21st, right before Thanksgiving, because plants shut down usually around December. So we basically went out and worked on the list that we had from the total list that we have that need paving work, and we basically crafted a project that could get completed in that time frame. It's a mixture of some local streets, some of your streets that are more citizen-based residential, and like Old Humboldt Road and Pipkin Road that everyone travel, collector level streets. We also have some on the list that JA has worked on in this previous year. So there's cuts through the street that need, basically once they get completed, we resurface everything and hopefully not have any additional utility cuts in the future.
And how much is this fall project going to cost?
It's approaching 1.9 million. It's 1.8 million and some change. And then we had an overall budget of 2.7 to start out with, and then also we're supposed to have some additional funding coming for the spring as well.
Scott, everybody loves to talk about when the streets aren't in good shape. What do people least understand about trying to, the average person in the community, from your experience, what do they least understand about how you go about making these decisions, and particularly if they say, I got a pothole in my neighborhood here. What do they not understand usually?
Well, the city in general, I mean, we are responsible in keeping up our streets, but there's a lot of different ways. Like you mentioned potholes. Our department every day is patching potholes and working on our city streets. And if there's a problem on your street, we're obligated to come and fill that pothole and get it passable. I work on a more of a long-term solution in a full resurfacing or some more permanent patching. But there's a lot of preventative maintenance like crack filling that can be done and that kind of thing as well. So it is a little hard if we only pave streets in Jackson that everybody drove on like Van Drive that gets 16,000 cars a day, then we would never come into a neighborhood with 5 residents on it and pave a cul-de-sac. So we do try to balance all that out, do a certain percentage of residential local streets while also looking at the higher level streets that everybody drives on throughout Jackson. So it's not the same every year. We try to keep in mind of the council districts and make sure every area is getting a certain amount of paving. It doesn't always equal out every year, but we do try to hit all those factors when we look at the project.
Scott, it would also probably be very helpful if you could clarify one thing, that when people are slowed on Saturdays and weekend dates because of construction on the interstate at the bypass, that is not a City of Jackson decision.
It is not. That's right. That is a state, I-40 certainly a state and federal highway. The 45 bypass, Highland Avenue is also state. And so the work that you see, not to blame them, it'll be great when it's completed. It's needed improvements at Jackson, but right now during construction, the state's kind of got full control of that area, and we're just trying to, we've helped them a little bit by allowing them to use Old Hickory Boulevard as a detour route because their nearest state route is Parkway, and so we've allowed them to, detour on some city streets, which most local people do anyway. But besides working with them like that, they're just trying to get through it. And it's just painful during construction time.
And when are you guys planning to start the repaving of the road, of the city road?
Well, after today's, I will go issue a notice to proceed to work. But contractors will start meeting with JA and see if there's some work that needs to be done ahead of time. And I know that there are some utility services that they'll work on. So there's no need for them to come and start immediately because there's some work that needs to be done prep. They've told me verbally that the 1st and middle of October they'd be coming in, and then they'll work through that whole list until it's completed, and it's set to be complete by November 21st.
And can you tell us why, you do these kind of projects? Is it for safety, for beautifying reasons? What are the reasons?
It's mainly when streets have got to the point where there's not just a pothole or two here and there, but that the whole street is looking rough, got a lot of cracking in it, and it needs a full resurface. And safety-wise, that helps because you can't just pick one spot to patch and have it replaced. So it's to get the street resurfaced and basically new, and hopefully be fixed for a period of 5 to 10 years after that.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I appreciate y'all interviewing.